Hello friends, hello fellow business neighbors. Hold on tight everyone, because here we truly go now. 3 reasons to bring your product to the Russian market. The first reason, Russia is an attractive but often underestimated market. There are 144 million people living in Russia. Of course, that's less than in China and less than in India. But in Russia, the purchasing power of citizens is higher than in India and slightly exceeds the purchasing power in China. That means the average purchase is higher and people buy more often. That's reason number 1. The second reason, low competition. While in China there are 134 companies per 1,000 citizens, in Russia there are only 46 companies. So there is competition in Russia as well, but it is 3 times lower than in China. This means that the fight for the attention of each individual customer in Russia is 3 times less intense. A comparable figure in India is 40 companies per 1,000 people. So competition is lower and purchasing power is higher. That was reason number 2. The third reason, online commerce is highly developed in Russia. 90% internet penetration. This means that 130 million people are online. And online commerce, from 2019 to 2024, in just 5 years, has grown 7.5 times. And from 65 to 70% of all online traffic, online commerce, is taken up by marketplaces. Ozon, Wildberries, Yandex. So you, your company with your product, you don't need to create a new audience to buy your product. You simply connect to an already existing customer base and sell, sell and sell. And if you have already had a negative experience entering the Russian market, then let's look into the reasons why. And let's also examine the approaches and mistakes that are most commonly made by entrepreneurs from other countries. And we will highlight the 3 main and primary reasons why there are no sales. The first reason is entering the market through systems like Ozon Global from other countries, from China, from India, in order to sell on the Russian market. What is the problem with systems like Ozon Global? The problem is that delivery takes a very long time. It can take days, weeks, or sometimes even months. But the Russian market is very spoiled by e-commerce. The Russian customer is used to receiving their order today, or at the latest, tomorrow. And if your delivery time is more than 2 or 3 days, you won't have any sales. Sales will be very rare. That's the first reason why you don't have sales. Reason number 2 is product packaging. What looks good in India, China, Turkey or Vietnam doesn't always look as appealing in Russia to the Russian customer. In each of these countries and in any country in general, packaging that is tailored to the tastes of the local audience, the specific consumer living in that country, is important. That's why Russian approaches, Russian styles, types, presentation and colors, which are also very important, should be aimed specifically at the tastes of the Russian consumer. For example, let's say we're promoting these kinds of metal shelves that are manufactured in China. When a Chinese manufacturer or seller enters the Russian market through Ozon Global, for example, they usually just list it as a shelf. But when we do it, we understand what the Russian consumer needs, so we list it as a kitchen shelf, an apartment shelf, a garage shelf, and a shelf for specific purposes, like a seedling shelf, for example. And this multiplies sales. It results in several times more sales. And for this particular shelf to be valued with this exact name, even though there may be countless similar shelves on the Russian market. But we, with our shelf and our brand name, participate in Moscow Fashion Week. In 2025, we are the official furniture suppliers for Moscow Fashion Week, and all the products showcased at that event were displayed on our furniture. This tells the customer that it's fashionable. And thanks to such promotions in the offline world, we can link our sales and our product listings to Moscow Fashion Week. And our sales are growing exponentially, something that entrepreneurs from other countries can't achieve. And reason number 3 is the appearance of the product listing. Often product listings on marketplaces don't convert into sales. Even an excellent product can get stuck and not sell if the listing is poorly made. The appearance, the text, the titles, all of this should take into account the tastes of the Russian customer. If that's missing, there are no sales. To sum up, Ozon and Wildberries Global are like selling tea that will only brew in a month. But in Russia, people prefer tea that will be ready in 5 minutes, beautifully packaged, tasty, and of high quality. Because in our country, buyers are very spoiled by marketplaces. I'll never get tired of repeating that. My friends, I will be running this channel in this format. On this channel, I will be telling you about how the Russian market works, which algorithms operate on marketplaces, how logistics are handled here, what tax obligations arise when selling goods in the territory of the Russian Federation, how to enter the Russian market and increase your sales, add an additional country for your sales, or expand your existing sales volumes. If you are only planning to enter the Russian market, or if you are already present in our market but are not satisfied with your sales volumes, get in touch. We will be happy to help you with this task. Send me a direct message. We are always open to dialogue. Until our next deals, my friends, goodbye.
Это мой оператор, просто охуенно. Я говорю, переснимаем дубль, он говорит, да вообще, все нормально, не парься, расслабься. Вот с такими людьми приятно работать. Итак,